path to his belly and kindled a blaze there. He belched and knew he had reached his limit. Mac had no idea why he had come to this particular gin mill, other than he was footloose and drifting after being paid off for the trail drive. The money burned a hole in his pocket, but Dewey McKenzie never had been much of a spendthrift. Growing up on a farm in Missouri hadn't given him the chance to have 2 nickels to rub together, much less important money to waste. With deft instinct, he stepped to the side as 2 brawling men crashed into the bar beside him, lost their footing, and sprawled on the sawdust-littered floor. Mac looked down at them, then let out a growl. He reached out and grabbed the man on top by the back of his coat. A hard heave lifted the fighter into the air until the fabric began to tear. Mac swung the man around, deposited him on his feet, and looked him squarely in the eye. "What mess have you gotten yourself into now, Rattler?" "Hey, as I live and breathe," the cowboy exclaimed. "Howdy, Mac. Never thought our paths would cross again after Abilene." Rattler ducked as his opponent surged to his feet and launched a wild swing. Mac leaned to one side, the bony fist passing harmlessly past his head. He batted the arm down to the bar and pounced on it, pinning the man. "Whatever quarrel you've got with my friend, consider it settled," Mac told the man sternly. "Ain't got a quarrel. I got a bone to pick." The drunk wrenched free, reared back, and lost his balance, sitting hard amid the sawdust and vomit on the barroom floor. "Come on, Rattler. Let's find somewhere else to do some drinking." Mac grabbed the front of the wiry man's vest and pulled him along into the street. Mayhem filled Hell's Half-Acre tonight. In either direction along Calhoun Street, saloons belched customers out to continue the battles that had begun inside. Others, done with their recreation outside, crowded to get back in for more liquor. Mac brushed dirt off his threadbare clothes. Spending some of his pay on a new coat made sense. He whipped off his black, broad-brimmed hat and smacked it a couple of times against his leg. Dust clouds rose. His hair had been plastered back by sweat. The lack of any wind down the Fort Worth street kept it glued down as if he had used bear grease. He wiped tears from his cat-green eyes and knew he had to get away from the dust and filth of the city. It was dangerous on the trail, tending a herd of cattle, but it was cleaner and wide-open prairie. He might get stomped on by a steer, but never had to worry about being shot in the back. He knew better than to ask Rattler what the fight had been over. Likely it had started for no reason other than to blow off steam. "I thought you were going to find a gunsmith and get some work there," Mac said to his companion. "You're a better tinkerer than most of them in this town." Mac touched the Model 3 in his belt. Rattler had worked on it from Waco to Abilene during the drive, and had turned his pappy's old sidearm into a deadly weapon that shot straight and true every time the trigger was pulled. For that, Mac thanked Rattler. For teaching him how to draw fast and aim straight, he gave another silent nod to Patrick Flagg. More than teaching him how to draw faster than just about anyone, Flagg had also taught him when not to draw at all. Rattler said, "And I thought you was heading back to New Orleans to woo that filly of yours. What was her name? Evie?" "Evangeline," Mac said. "Yeah, you went on, even calling out her name in your sleep. With enough money, you should have been able to win her over." Mac knew better. He loved Evangeline Holdstock, and she had loved him until Pierre Leclerc had set his cap for her. Leclerc's plans included taking over Evie's father's bank after marrying her, probably inheriting it when he murdered Micah Holdstock. Being framed for Micah's murder had been enough to convince Mac to leave New Orleans. Worse, the frame had also convinced Evie to have nothing to do with him other than to scratch out his eyes if he got close enough to the only woman he had ever loved. His only hope of ever winning her back was to prove Leclerc had murdered Holdstock.